Here we are, then, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to go racing here at Kota for the USA Grand Prix here at Purple Sector. It's lights out and away we go. Vista there gets a solid start there from pole. Tezza tucking in there in second place has got Justified looking to his outside here. Coming around the outside of turn one. Is he going to keep himself there? As Tezza's trying to hold himself on the inside. He holds on to second place there. Magpie 2 they're getting ahead of Justify around the outside up into third place as well. We've got Oliver there moving ahead of Brinky up into 8th place. Although he's had a moment there as Oliver, he's had a bit of a twitch. He's down to the back of the pack there on the first lap. So Oliver having a nightmare there coming through turn 2. As Brinky's moved ahead of Arlenberg up into 13th, and he's actually got ahead of Nathan as well. So Brinky there up into P12 there, on the outside of both of those two. We've got Rexy Boy losing out there to the Mark. The Mark's up into P8. Also got Arlenberg there getting ahead of Nathan up into 13th place, and Street Boy has made the move on Rexy Boy, and now Rexy Boy losing out loads of places here. Has lost out to Stiffmeister, Brinky, and also potentially, well, he looked like he almost lost out to Ruck as well, but Ruck there's ahead of Brinky now as well as Arlenberg. So Brinky losing a couple of places there, down to P14 now on this opening lap. So lots of changes here on this opening lap. We've got Ruck there moving ahead of Arlenberg as well as Stiffmeister, who's got up into 9th place ahead of Street Boy. V10 Ultra's also got ahead of Mr. Johan going into the left-hander at the end of the back straight. So that's now V10 Ultra up into 5th place, can now try and chase down the leaders here. But Vista out the front has already got a second and a half of a gap right now over Magpie Toon. Tezza obviously lost out to Magpie Toon going through the first corner, and he's running in 3rd place at the moment. Justified there in 4th ahead of V10 Ultra, followed by Mr. Johan with Matty Pitt and Mark ahead of Stiffmeister, and Street Boy competes in the top 10. As we've got Rexy Boy there, who's dropped down to the back of the pack there in 17th place. And Nathan there swooping around the outside of Nino Blanco up into 15th place. So he's done brilliantly there as Nathan to get himself a place. But in the meantime, it's Vista leading ahead of Magpie Toon. A second and a half currently separating these two, with Tezza there ahead of Justify, V10 Ultra, Mr. Johan, and Matty Pitt there completing the top 7 at the moment. Stiffmeister there was looking to the inside of the Mark there into turn 1, but still a bit too far away at the moment. We've got Nino Blanco and Rexy Boy in the pits here at the end of lap 1. We're watching leaders as they're coming through the S's here on lap 2 of the race. The first time they'll take the S's with their tyres up to temperature. But obviously the fuel tank's still relatively full compared to what they'll be at the end of the race, and certainly what they were in qualifying. But currently Vista still out the front. We've got Brinky there moving ahead of Arlenberg up into 12th place. That appears to be job done there for Brinky. And Arlenberg too far back coming into this next sequence, I think, to have a move back on him. He's looked into the inside. Oh, I tell you what, he's going to still try it. And he might have done it there. Actually, Brinky's going to get a better exit there out of the corner. And Brinky holds on to 12 for the time being. But Arlenberg got the slipstream all the way down the back straight. Saying that, he's coming under pressure now from Oliver. And Oliver's looking to the inside of Arlenberg here. He's looking down the inside into the left-hander. He's going to have a chance to make the move. As Arlenberg getting a bit of straight line speed there down towards the braking zone. He's going to look up the inside once again. But Brinky's going to keep on to that for 12th place for the time being. Oliver there still right behind these two, with Nathan for company as well, should I say. And this is a great battle here between these guys, as Nathan there trying to look around the outside of Oliver. Oliver going very late on the brakes there into the hairpin, and almost went into the back of Arlenberg there as well. But all fair between them at the moment, no dramas. It was almost very close to being, but it wasn't quite. And these guys keeping out of trouble for the time being. Brinky still leading this quartet of cars. He's gapped these by a little bit now. Arlenberg, Oliver and Nathan still having a great fight here for what's 13th place here in this race, as Oliver there is Arlenberg's into the pits here at the end of lap 2. And these could continue where they left off here, with Oliver and Nathan still running pretty close, but Nathan's still too far back on Oliver at the moment. Oh, it's the Mark there getting a lovely exit out of turn 1, getting around the outside there of Stiffmeister. I think Stiffmeister might have briefly made that move, but then Mark managed to get a cut back on him. Now they've got this Ferrari and Street Boy here attacking on them as well. Although Ruck's managed to squeeze through ahead of Street Boy. He came from nowhere there, did Ruck, up into P10. Fantastically opportunistic move there from Ruck. As you can see there, we've got a 3-second time penalty there for Nathan for track limits. So he's obviously been overstepping those a little bit too much on the back of Oliver in that battle for P13. But exciting race in the first couple of laps here at Kota for the US Grand Prix here for Purple Sector's Formula 1 League here. Obviously round 3 of this 10 race season, a quick fire season before we get on to F1 24, the last season F1 23, and obviously the realistic car performance this season as well. As Matty Pitt there up into P6 ahead of Mr. Johan down the end of the straight. As we see a massive lock up there from Mr. Johan. As Stiffmeister there and the Mark side by side there into the hairpin, and there you can see the Mark there moving back ahead of Stiffmeister very briefly though, as the Ruck there now squeezes in, and Ruck seems to have got this move done on the Mark here, but the Mark trying to keep it around the outside. Through this next sequence, he's going to try and keep it around the outside of the hairpin. He's not going to get a cut back there because Ruck got it perfectly turned in. Oliver there with a 3-second time penalty for track limits as well. So the track limit penalties are being handed out. Obviously, just 2 drivers so far in this race. Nathan and Oliver have fallen foul of those. But Mark's still on the back of Ruck here in his battle for 9th place. That battle's certainly not done yet. Still a long way to go in that particular instance. Vista still out the front. Just under a second of a gap here over Magpie Toon with Tezza, Justify and V10 Ultra completing the top 5. There's Matty Pitt ahead of Mr. Johan. Big gap back to Stiffmeister, Ruck, the Mark. There's Street Boy and Brinky with Nathan and Oliver in the background there. Eilenberg's back in the pits again for another pit stop, obviously for a front wing this time. So must have been it on his outlap there, and that has not gone to plan at all there for him. What tyres he put on? He's put on the hards. Sorry, the soft, should I say. I'm looking at Brexit Boy there. But interestingly, Tezza starting on the medium tyres, running in 3rd place right now. So he's going to be in a box seat here in terms of the strategy with this race, because he's going to be able to come in for some soft when obviously the pit window kicks in, which will probably be in a couple of laps, I would have thought. Or rather, well, maybe for him it'll be about the midway point. Oh, actually, no, probably have to go a bit beyond that, should I say. So it'd be probably about lap 12, lap 13, I think. We'll be seeing Tezza coming in. In the meantime, Nathan very close on Brinky at the moment. Also, Street Boy Hass in the back of the mark here for P10. Mark there getting ahead of Street Boy on the exit of turn 1, back up into 10th place again. Street Boy there couldn't keep on to it. Looked like he might have got ahead of him briefly there, but Street Boy's on the attack here, going through the S's. And Mark, there didn't look like he had too much confidence there going through the S's. Seemed a bit hesitant coming through that sequence, but he's putting now back up onto the rear of Ruck again. This is a 3-car battle here, in fact a 4-car battle, because Brinky's actually with them as well. Potentially Nathan could be climbing up on the back of this fight as well here, so this is pretty much 5 cars in the line here. Ruck ahead of the mark, as Tezza's got ahead of Magpie Toon up into 2nd place. I'm noticing that one on the timing screen. Let's jump to the lead for the battle for the lead here, because Vista has got Tezza and Magpie Toon very close on the back of him here. These 3 really close, and Justify also with them as well. Let's quickly jump back to the battle for 9th place, because here comes the mark. He's now got the DRS here on Ruck, looking to the inside towards the end of the back straight, and there goes the mark down the inside for P9, and Ruck loses out to Street Boy as well, although Street Boy's gone deep into the corner, and that's going to lose in places here to Brinky and possibly Nathan as well. Nathan can't get him, so Nathan's going to have to tuck him behind him for the time being, but Street Boy there went for a move and ended up losing 2 places in that one. Mark's still running in 9th place at this point ahead of Ruck. But a great battle here between these 5 drivers. Let's go back to the leaders, because currently Vista has only got Tezza within 0.2 of a second of him right now. And Tezza with DRS as well is going to look to the inside into turn 1. He's a little bit too far back just at the moment, but he's going to be biding his time here. He's not going to be too much of a rush. He's on the slower tyres, let's not forget, so he's got that strategic ace up his sleeve at the end of the race, or rather towards the end of the race, should he require it. As Ruck's moved ahead of the mark up into P9, so that's a job done there for Ruck up into another point there in the back for him as things stand. Nathan and Oliver there into the pits at the end of lap 5 as well. So they're the next drivers to bring it in. But Vista out the front still has got the lead over Tezza, but how much longer? Because here comes Tezza. He's breezed past him there into the lead of the race. Tezza must have hits the front, but can he hold on coming into the braking zone? Because Vista's going to try and come back at him here. Tezza defends the inside line on those medium tyres, and seems to have got that one done. Magpie Toon waiting in the wings, hoping to pounce on this battle, and potentially now Tezza might just start to up the tempo and pull away here, coming through the middle sector. Obviously he'll want to get out of DRS range before we get to the start-finish straight here. That'll be a prime position for him, as Mark back ahead of Ruck again here up into 9th place. These two swapping and changing left, right and centre at the moment. Rock's going to try and get a cut back out of this left-hander at the end of the back straight, but he's not going to get it into the next sequence. And through the stadium section, it's the mark there. Right in ninth place here in this race. Tezza, though, out the front, coming into the final corner here at the end of lap 6, and he has just taken the lead of the race. Can he get a good exit here and keep himself out of that DRS threat? He's within DRS range here, is Vista, but he's not going to really get it to much use because the gap's 0.8 of a second as they come over the line, so that's too far back to really make any use of it. Obviously, you get the DRS if you're within a second, but if you're more than a half a second behind, you're probably not going to get the move done, at least on a straight like that, which isn't too long. It's probably unlikely that you're going to manage to get anything done there. But Tezza there, your race leader ahead of Vista with Magpie Toon there, Justify on the back of these in a moment. You've got Barinki there moving ahead of Ruck up into P10 as they come into turn 1 once again. As we see, Nathan's got a 3-second time penalty there for track limits. So yet again, Nathan falling foul of the stewards here. Street Boys moved ahead of Rock up into P11 as well, although Rock's going for a cutback and he's managed to get that one. And he's come straight back at him there, Rock up into P11. So he's still having a great fight. And Rock there still running in P11 for the time being. Tezza, your race leader, he's got over a second now over Vista. Magpie Toon there in third ahead of Justify. They're the top 4. V10 Ultra there in fifth ahead of Matty Pitt. Mr. Johan there still running in 7th place. A few seconds clear of Stiffmeister, who started on his soft tyres, as well as the drivers from 2nd to 5th places. The only drivers in the top 8 to have started on the mediums were Tezza and Mr. Johan. And Tezza, incidentally, is the race leader, so he takes something special for him to be denied here tonight. As Mark there getting around the outside of Brinky up into P9 on the exit of the corner at the end of the back straight. You've got Rock there still on the back of Street Boy at this point as well. Magpie Toon here coming into the pits at the end of lap 7. So obviously he was trying to close on to the back of Vista, but he's now coming into the pits, so he's going for that undercut here on Vista potentially. He'll have fresher tyres for one more lap, but Vista will have the fresher tyres by only one lap as things stand at the end of the race. It's not going to make the world of difference, I wouldn't have thought. Let's keep an eye and see if Magpie Toon can get the jump here on Vista. Mr. Johan also in the pits as well as Rock. Vista here, let's go Justify well within a second of it at the moment. Does Vista come in to cover off the potential undercut here from Magpie Toon? No, Vista staying out, so going along and hoping the fresher tyres will be of some benefit at the end. Magpie Toon could be doing bits here in P7. We're going to have to keep an eye on Magpie Toon here. This could be crucial here to how this develops as we see V10 Ultra into the pits at the end of lap 8. But Magpie Toon 19 seconds off the race leader. His gap to the second and third place is Vista and Justify is 16 seconds, so I reckon that's going to be within a pit stop here. Magpie Toon will come out ahead of Vista and Justify as things stand. Could even be quite close to Tezza at this point because Tezza's on worn medium tyres. Magpie Toon's are 7 laps fresher, so his lap times could be potentially putting him in a position where he could possibly get ahead of Tezza here as well. But are Tezza, Vista and Justify going to be aware of that at this point? They're just playing the long game, hoping that the sacrifice now will pay dividends towards the end of the race. Oh, Rexy Boy there, managing to overcook it massively. Dylenberg there, back up into 15th place. Rexy Boy briefly made the move, but couldn't hold on to it due to locking up hugely. As we see Mark there losing out to V10 and Street Boy. And V10 Ultra here. Let's go try to go around the outside here of Street Boy. V10 Ultra going down the outside of Street Boy. Going down the inside of Street Boy towards the end of the back straight. And he's made that move there as V10 Ultra up into P6. Street Boy could have Mark coming back at him here in a second because Mark did briefly lose out to both of them. We can see there Vista and Justify, the two McLarens. Oh, no, actually, sorry, Vista's in a Red Bull. Div. But Vista there into the Red Bull pit box. There is Justified going in now as well. Now, I'm sure Magpie Toon's going to come out ahead of these two because he came in, well, it was 2 laps earlier. And he's done the bits here. Magpie Toon coming out well ahead of these two. And I tell you what, these two were about 3 seconds behind the race leader Tezza when Magpie Toon came in, or rather when they came in. So I reckon Magpie Toon could be in a net lead here. He's 5 seconds clear of those two. So if he continues what he's doing right now, then Magpie Toon will come out a little bit ahead of the race leader Tezza. Obviously, he put those medium tyres on early, so that's put him in the position he's in. And Tezza will have much better pace in the second stint once he's on his soft tyres, but he can't put them on just yet because they're not going to make it to the end at the moment. So he's got to continue running around on these medium tyres, which are not giving him much joy at this point, and that's only going to allow Magpie Toon to close that gap even more. So it's been a really strong strategic drive here from Magpie Toon so far. Is it going to pay off? The guys behind him have got slightly fresher tyres on, but it's not going to make a massive difference. It will make a difference, but it's not really going to make a huge, not going to really make many odds here. V10 Ultra looking to the outside of Justify towards the end of the straight. He looks to go around the outside. Justify trying to keep himself there. V10 Ultra is going to keep him on the outside though, and he's done that really well as V10 Ultra into the next right-hander, and that's job done there up into 4th place. Justify couldn't fight that one any longer. Now V10 Ultra is going to look to try and pull up onto the back of Vista here for 3rd place. You can see Rock there's moved ahead of Brinky up into 13, or sorry, up into 12th place as well, should I say. Here's your race leader then. Currently coming round down the back straight here. Just past the halfway point here in this race. And obviously he's still yet to pit. He needs to come in. I'd say probably lap 13 would be the most obvious point for him to pit. Maybe as early as lap 12 because obviously the fuel will be slightly lighter. We saw people going 8 laps in the first stint. At this point in the race it could be maybe 8. I mean, yeah, but 8 lap maybe could work. Have to keep our eye on that. Magpie Toon running in 2nd place here. I'll tell you what, he's got these two closing in on him a little bit. Vista and V10 are definitely really that gap down ever so slightly. But Magpie Toon continuing to close on the race leader Tezza. Obviously the tyre offset in terms of the age, the amount of time the amount of laps they've driven on these tyres are all kind of concertinaing. As Stiffmeister's moved ahead of Mr. Johan up into 8th place at the end of the back straight. Mr. Johan running on the hard tyres for this stint. Started obviously on the mediums. And Stiffmeister there on the faster tyres has managed to make that move without any dramas really. Oliver's moved ahead of Ruck up into P11 here, coming through the stadium section as well, although Ruck's trying to get a cut back here and trying to come back at him. They're still side by side and Oliver's going to have to defend this one on the inside coming into the hairpin. Now Ruck goes for the cutback and he's going to get that one beautifully there. Lovely exit, but Oliver's still there on the inside. Ruck didn't get quite as good an exit as I initially thought there, and now because they come through into the final sector, I think Oliver's going to hold on to this one for the time being. Ruck there looking to the outside into the penultimate corner. He's not going to manage to make that move on just there. Oliver's still clinging on to this one for the time being as they're going to have DRS down the start finish straight. Ruck will have a chance here to come back at him down into turn 1, but he gets a horrible exit out of the final corner, and that's going to give Oliver just a little bit of respite. Oliver should be fine there for the time being in P11. But interesting little squabble there between those two for a second. Tezza's still out the front with just under a 13-second gap at the moment over Magpie Toon. Magpie Toon still bringing that gap down, but he's also being gained on quite a bit by Vista and V10 Ultra. These two are flying. Well, actually not so much V10 Ultra to be fair. He's not with Vista at all. It really is only Vista who's coming after Magpie Toon, but he's closing the gap rapidly here. Gap's now under 3 seconds between Magpie Toon and Vista. Vista could be a big contender for the win here tonight. Justify there, moving ahead of V10 Ultra into the end of the back straight. You also got Stiffmeister there, getting ahead of Street Boy. Also got DRS here on Matty Pitt. Matty Pitt, though, has got the DRS somehow. He must have both passed Street Boy there. But Stiffmeister there now looking to the inside of Matty Pitt into the next corner, and he's going to make this move down the inside into the stadium section. Matty Pitt keeping around the outside. Oh, Stiffmeister there gets a massive bit of oversteer, and that's going to allow Matty Pitt back up into 6th place there. Street Boy now looking to try and attack on the back of Stiffmeister as well as they come through the hairpin here out of the stadium section. And Vista's got a 3-second time penalty. Oh no! Vista there, I thought he must be doing something to be gaining the amount of time he is on Magpie 2 there. He's got himself a time penalty here. He'll still come out ahead of Tezza. Magpie 2 leads the race. Vista within a second of your race leader now. Tezza there coming out of the pits in 5th place on his fresh soft tyres, so he can absolutely blitz it here in his final few laps. He's going to have so much pace on the drivers in front, but he's got some traffic he's going to have to deal with here. This is 4th position as well, so they're not going to just wave him through. V10 Ultra and Justify are not going to make this easy for Tezza, and if he wants to win this race, he's going to have to clear them before he can even think about the top 2. Vista on his fresher tyres than Magpie 2, but with a time penalty. V10 Ultra's also got a time penalty as well, but Magpie 2 with no penalty out the front, but he's got slightly more worn out tyres than the guys around him as well. Not by much, it's not really much of a difference, but nonetheless, a difference. There's Eilenberg there into the pits at the end of lap 12. But Magpie 2 with Vista within a second of him at the moment, coming down the back straight. Vista, I think, is our best hope of Tezza having a fight for this win here, as we see Justify moving ahead of V10 Ultra up into 3rd place. But Vista, if he wants to win this race, needs to clear Magpie 2 as soon as he can. He needs to do it this time around into turn 1. I think if he's to have any chance of pulling that 3-second gap to Tezza, running in 5th place at the moment. Obviously, Tezza's got to clear these two, V10 and Justify first, but Vista needs to get on with this on the back of Magpie 2. He needs to make this move this time around, I'm telling you. Needs to be this time around for him. Tezza's already picked off V10 Ultra up into 4th place. He is making light work of the traffic here, as we see the top 2 coming through the final corner here to complete lap 13 of the race. And look how close Vista is. He's going to have to DRS here this time around. He's going to be too far back though, I think. It's just a little bit too far away here, is Vista. You see they're getting there just a little bit too late into turn 1. Oh, is he looking down the inside? No, too far back, just about. Tezza looking to go around the outside here of Justify, and Justify's given him space there. Tezza putting off a lovely move around the outside there. Absolutely superb stuff up into 3rd place, and he's already within 4 seconds of the lead. He's already within 3.5 seconds of the man who he needs to finish within 3 seconds off to get the win. So I think that Tezza Mazza is not going to be denied here tonight, as Magpie 2 still leading the race. But his gap to Tezza 4 seconds. Maybe Magpie 2 could be the only one to deny Tezza here tonight. Street Boy has moved ahead of the mark up into 13th. No, he hasn't, because the mark's got to cut back there. But Street Boy around the outside into turn 2. Got the inside for turn 2. Up into 13th place he goes there. Nicely done there from Street Boy. Vista for the lead, coming on the inside there of Magpie 2, and that's going to be job done there well before the corner, up into the lead of the race. But with his penalty, that could be a real costly mistake there for him, getting that time penalty, because his gap to Tezza is currently 3.5 seconds. But I suppose his only hope now is that Tezza's tyres go off. That's going to be his only hope in this race. Tezza's going to have to do 8 laps on those soft tyres. But Vista leading this race. Maybe he can hope that Magpie 2 might hold Tezza up, but I don't know if that's going to be the case here tonight. Obviously, Magpie 2 hasn't got a penalty, and his gap to Tezza's 2 seconds as well. So, I mean, who knows at this point? Still a fair little way to go here in this race. Still 6 laps left in this one. It's far from over at this point. Mark's got ahead of Street Boy in the meantime, up to 13th place, so that's dropping on there for him. Here we go then. This is technically for the net lead here, Magpie Toon and Tazamaza. So Magpie Toon, you'd hope, will be looking to put up a bit of a fight here. Stiffmeister's got a bit deep there. Matty Pitt's got the cut back on him there up into P6. Nino Blanco's got ahead of Islandberg here, but Islandberg's not done. He's got a good exit out of turn 1 and into turn 2. He's back ahead of him up into 15th place. Nino Blanco looking to the outside into the S's, but he's too far back. Islandberg's got that one done. Tezado's all over the back of Magpie Toon here as they come out of the final corner, and he's going to get this move done easily. He's going to have DRS as well. He's going to have the move done before they even get to the start finish line. Teza Muzzer there up into P2 without any dramas at all. He's within that 3 seconds of Vista now as well. So this is Teza Muzzer's race to lose. It wasn't the first stint. Went for a bit of a risky strategy, obviously, stopping quite late on, which dropped him down because his worn out tyres were a lot slower than the guys who pitted before him. So he lost track position, but he's made it up with those fresh soft tyres, as we thought he might. Oh, safety car! Why? Why have we got a safety car? Come on, it was going so well. Stiffmeister's got retired. Where is his car? What happened there? Let's watch from Islandberg's point of view and see if we can get an idea of what's happened here. Can't see a ruined Alpine chassis anywhere. Has he retired to the pits? I mean, that'll be pretty bad form if he's done that, I tell you. I think he has, yeah. He pulled into the pits and retired, and somehow that sparked a safety car, so beggars belief, I guess. Who's this going to benefit? Is it going to benefit anybody? I guess if you're one of the top 4, you might chance it, because you can come out on some fresh soft tyres and probably still be in the top 5. A bit of a gap back to Matty Pitt there in P6. Probably one of the top 4 might be going for this here. Yep, Vista coming in. Tezek also coming in. Magpie Toon in as well. Justify pulls in. And V10 Ultra, is he going to come in or is he going to chance it? No, he's going to come in. I thought V10 might be tempted to go for track position there. Roll of the dice, he's got the pace, we know he's a quick driver, but he wasn't. I think he was tempted. He looked like he was a bit of a last minute decision there from him to come in. But Vista comes out with the race lead still. Tezo in second, and Vista, did he serve his penalty? Let's keep an eye on. No, he didn't. He didn't serve his penalty. He would have lost track position. Yeah, it would have been quite hard for him to get back on Tezo if he did. That would have been nigh on impossible for him to do that. Oliver's got now a 3-second time penalty for cutting the track under safety car. Not quite sure what he was trying to gain from that. But here we are then, closing laps here for the United States Grand Prix here at Purple Sector for Season 10 here at COTA. And just under 4 laps left to go here in this one. Obviously the race is shorter for this season. We're doing 35% of the race distance from real life in this season, as it's a bit of a short, sharp season in more ways than just one. And obviously realistic car performance. It's only like a bonus season, this one. I don't know if it even counts as the official season, but I'm putting it down as season 10 because I'm not really 100%. But yeah, essentially this isn't really like the official Purple Sector. It's not like the usual format of equal car performance, 50% races with a few sprints. It's literally just 10 races, 10 of the best tracks in a mostly random order, I think. See then, I think we're going to go for another lap here because, yeah, we certainly are, because Islandberg there is only in the first sector. So is Nino Blanco and so is Rexy Boy. So, yeah, we're going to be on the safety car for a little bit longer here, at least another lap. And seeing how far those guys are behind, I don't know, we might even be 2 more laps under the safety car here. There's no guarantee we're going to be getting underway at the end of the next lap at this rate. Yeah, those guys are a little bit more than halfway round as the leaders are coming around to start the lap. So, yeah, unless they go twice the pace of the safety car, I think we are going to have a lap after this one as well, which means we could only have a 1 lap dash to the flag. Hopefully it's 2. Hopefully we get going at the end of this lap, but I'm wondering now whether that is going to be possible. You can see actually there in the background, there's the pack going through on the exit of turn 1 into turn 2, and you can see there's Nino Blanco and Rexy Boy coming through the final corner here. I reckon we should be able to go at the end of lap 18. Fingers crossed we stay on schedule here and we can have 2 racing laps here at the end of this race. But Tezza here in the prime position obviously knows that Vista's got his penalty. V10's got a penalty, but Matty behind him's got more. Mr. Johan also with a penalty. That will provide a bit of a cushion for V10. Should be able to consolidate P5 as long as he gets on with it. Off at the start here. Nathan with 6 seconds. Oliver with 15 seconds of penalties. That is just insane. Ruck there with 11. Brinky's got none. He will benefit hugely from all of this in front of him. Ruck there 11. Street Boys 6 seconds. Eilenberg's got none. So Eilenberg will pick up some places here at the end as well, as long as he doesn't mess anything up. Nino Blanco likewise. Rexy Boy's got 3 seconds. Could gain a couple of places if he's in the right place. Love to see. But here we go then. Confirmation. Safety car's coming in this time around. So it's going to be Vista to get us back underway here. But obviously he's got his 3-second penalty, which means that Tenza Mazza is in the box seat here. He's the one who's most likely going to win this race at this point. As here we come then into the final sector here. Safety car speeding off into the distance here. This will be the time when we get us back underway here. Here we come then. Vista, Tezza, Magpie Toon, Justify, Avita Ultra, your top 5 drivers here. Matty Pitt there, P6, Mr. Johan, the Mark, Nathan and Oliver. Brinky, Rock, Street Boy, Eilenberg, Nino Blanco, Rexy Boy at the back. Here we go then, we're back underway once again here, penultimate lap of this race here at COTA for the US Grand Prix here at Purple Sector. Magpie 2 getting close to the back of Tezza there into turn 1. You've got a move here being shaped up as Nathan there goes down the inside of the Mark, and Mark loses out to Oliver there as well, although Mark they're getting a better exit and moves back ahead of Oliver there coming into turn 2. But Oliver thought he had that move done. Mark now getting back on the rear of Nathan after Nathan made that move down the inside of him as well. But it's Vista leading out the front ahead of Tezza Muzzer with Magpie 2 there in 3rd place, Justify in 4th ahead of V10 Ultra. Matty Pitt there P6, Mr. Johan 7th ahead of Nathan who moved up himself up to P8 into turn 1. Mark there in 9th ahead of Oliver completing the top 10, followed by Brinky Ruck ahead of Street Boy Eilenberg and Nino Blanco with Rexy Boy rounding out the pack in 16th place here as we see Vista here with Tezza all over the back of him as they're coming down the back straight, and obviously Tezza knows he doesn't need to make this move on the track, but he'd love to finish in 1st place on the road here tonight. He's not really close enough on Vista at the moment. He hasn't really got any straight line speed here compared to Vista. Without the DRS he's got no chance of getting ahead of him here. Justify looking around the outside into the end of the back straight on V10. In fact, V10's made that move on him up to 4th place as the Mark there's also got ahead of Oliver, but Oliver's not done. He's looking to get him, and he's managed to get it back on him there as Rock here around the outside of the Mark, all very tight, very close between him and Rock, squeezes around the outside of the Mark there up into P10. Lovely move there from Rock. Mark couldn't hold it there, and Ruck there up into the points paying positions here in the closing stages of this race. Vista still leading ahead of Tezza with Magpie 2 in their 3rd as Eilenberg's moved ahead of Nino Blanco up into 14th place as well here. Last moments of this race here. Vista coming over the line here to complete lap 19. On to lap 20, the final lap of the race. Vista with the fastest lap of the race there on cold tyres after a safety car period. Obviously he's on soft tyres, so you can't really sort of judge too much from that. I mean, it's to be expected even on cold tyres with the softs. It's unbelievable how much grip they have compared to the mediums, especially when they're fresh. But Vista here ahead of Tezza, and Tezza's going to try and get this move done on the track here. He'll get it on the classification no matter what, as long as he doesn't pick up a penalty on his final lap. But we can see a battle going on here with Nino Blanco moving ahead of his teammate, and Street Boy potentially losing back ahead of his teammate there. These two having a good bit of a scrap here on his final lap. They might lose out to Rexy Boy here if they're not careful, although Street Boy with his penalty would have lost out anyway. But Nino Blanco up into 14th place in all of that. There's Tezza still hassling the back of Vista here, out onto the back straight for the final time. Is he going to get enough for a run here? We've seen Vista's got good straight line speed, and without the DRS, Tezza's not really going to have much of a chance here. He's going to have to lunge down the inside. Surely he's not going to take that risk. No, he's going to get the win anyway. He looks to the inside. He's too far back. Vista not taking the bait. Knows he doesn't really need to fight for it. Knows he's not going to win because he's with that penalty. I mean, his only hope was to force Tezza into a mistake, but Tezza's not going to be too much in a hurry to get on with this here. I'm sure he'd love to get the win on track, but I'm sure he can live without it. No, he's got the points in the bag here, as we got Mark there moving ahead of Eilenberg up into P12. Eilenberg trying to hold his ground here. He's lost out there. The Mark there moving ahead of Brinky, or trying to move ahead of Brinky into the hairpin. As Mark there, oh my goodness me, look at that lunge. Mark there getting a cut back out of the hairpin and back up into 12th place. But Vista coming into the final corner here. He's going to hold Tezza off on the track, but it's going to be Tezza Mazza to take the win here at Kota tonight. Tezza first, Vista second. Magpie Toon actually gets ahead of Vista on the penalties as well. So Magpie Toon second, Vista third, Justify over in 4th place at a Beaten Ultra 5th, followed by Mr. Johan 6th, with Matty Pitt 7th, Nathan over in 8th, with Rock getting the penalty, getting the place on the penalties there, Brinky getting loads of places on the penalties there, Brinky 8th, Nathan 9th, the Mark getting the final top 10 spot there, and the final point. Lots of changes there at the end due to the penalties. Obviously, the pack was so close with only 2 laps after the safety car. So, yeah, lots of penalties really causing the drivers a bit of nightmares there in the final stages of that race. But your race winner is Tezza Muzza, having made the most of Justify's little penalty there, which cost him the win. That obviously came back to bite him in the end. And in fact, so Vista penalty, should I say, not Justify. What am I talking about? Sorry, Vista. I do know who you are. But yeah, anyway. Tezza there taking away with Magpie 2, and Vista very unlucky to lose the win there due to that penalty. We've got Justify in 4th with V10 5th. Mr. Johan P6 head of Matty Pitt 7th. Brinky 8th head of Nathan 9th. Mark completing the top 10 with the final point. Eilenberg P11 head of Nino Blanco 12th. Rexy Boy 13th ahead of Ruck, who finishes in 14th place. Street Boy 15th headed Oliver 16th, with Swiftmeister 17th place. They're actually retired, I think, from the race. A little way from the end, but that is that for tonight's action here for the Purple Sector Formula 1 League. Obviously, we kicked off with Purple Sector here tonight because we weren't around for the Flat Out Racing League on Monday night, as I was working the late shift. But to those of you watching this on Sunday night as part of Motive Racing Super Sunday, stay tuned because we'll be back in a minute or so for the next Purple Sector F1 League race, which is, as of time of recording here on Tuesday, it's due to be held on Thursday. So obviously we're looking forward to that, and yeah, join it, stick around for that because that will be up in a second. Motives for F1 League also coming up after that, and obviously the live action from the GT3 Championship on a set of course competition across the PlayStation 5 and Xbox coming after that. But guys, thanks ever so much. We'll see you in a minute.